For a luxury brand, the retail space has never been more important than it is now. A lot of people don't know, but fashion shows actually started in retail stores. Retailers would put the clothes on these models, have them walk up and down, and customers could buy something right off the model right then and there. I love going to a fashion show, but I also love the retail experience and everything that it has to offer. The retail store provides the consumer with a more complete picture of the brand image.
Take care of you.
I was born in a factory town outside of London. There was a little department store. That's where I got the retail bug. But in order to find fashion and luxury, I had to get to London. In London, I had my first experience of luxury. I worked at Turnbull and Asser and then on Savile Row at Tommy Nutter. Tommy Nutter made suits for David Hockney, Elton John, and he made Mick Jagger's incredible wedding suit. Each designer has their own take on retail. It's really exciting when you see a store which truly expresses the essence of a brand. Christopher Kane's runway shows have always been full of surprises, whether it's appliques filled with colored water or molecular inspiration. The big question now is, what will a Christopher Kane store look like? Taking the excitement and creativity of the runway show and translating it into the context of retail is a huge undertaking. The Alexander McQueen fashion shows are always filled with drama and theatre. Some of that drama and theatre finds its way into the store, but always in a very subtle, glamorous way.
You gotta know, I'm feeling love, made it go, I'll never love another one, another you, it's gotta be love, I said it.
I've been working for Alexander McQueen for 12 years now. My role is merchandising and licensing director. The design team are responsible for designing the product, and my team are responsible in a way for managing the product. I think the success of the commercial product in McQueen is the fact that we work so closely all together and understand the needs of the customer. So we take the product from design and ensure that it sits very nicely in the world that Sarah imagines for that particular season. We developed the collection very much in parallel with the show, and I think Sarah has a very clear vision of what the shows are and has a clear vision of how she wants to translate that in the element of the show. The show is a bit like a book. There's chapters. In the last spring-summer show, you could see the evolution of the story that Sarah was telling in the show. So we take her idea and together with her build collections within each group and drill it down to something in the real world that's more wearable on an everyday basis. Once the show comes out, there's immediately in the showroom the commercial collection arrives. We need to ensure that we pre-buy fabric in advance so that we deliver the product on time and that the customer, from seeing the show, when they arrive in store, still feel there's a link. The collection do change every season. In a way, the store was designed by Sarah to be a bit of a blank canvas. So every new collection would make the store feel different. We opened recently a store in Aoyama in Japan, and that store has a very minimalist concept because Sarah very much wanted it to fit the Japanese ethos of minimalism. They're all a little bit different. They're region-centric. I feel that all our stores are very important for McQueen because McQueen is a brand where you have to try the clothes on and you have to understand how you feel wearing them.
Close your eyes to see what it's done. The body that lies is built up on looking.
It's so important for luxury brands to truly express the heritage of their particular house.
Doing all that I can for you.
Gucci has an incredible history with celebrities going back to the middle of the last century. Alain Delon, Sophia Loren, Clark Gable were regulars at the Gucci store while filming in Rome. This relationship with celebrity is synonymous with style and luxury. The Bottega Veneta stores are characterized by warm leather, suede, tactile surfaces, conjuring up a feeling of intimacy. And you get that same wonderful sense of intimacy at a Bottega Veneta fashion show. Stella McCartney designs her collections to be wearable and accessible. The vibe is residential and inviting, and it says, "Come in and shop."
I really want everyone to be welcomed into my stores, really. It's something from day one that I've always wanted. Well, you know, we design clothes that women want to wear and still goes into retail in a realistic and natural way. We have to manufacture and make everything, and we have to source it in the most responsible and efficient manner. We have to have the right price points, we have to have the right manufacturing, and we have to deliver on time, you know, early, preferably. The most important thing for me is to create an effortless and wearable collection that has a point of view. Sometimes we joke, like, oh, you know, that doesn't have great hanger appeal, and then it looks amazing when it has movement on the runway or when people are wearing it. We have a very realistic approach. If something can be worn, which is really my aim, then it can be bought and live within retail in an effortless way, I think.
When you walk into any environment, sound and vision are the first two senses that hit you. They happen at the same time. If those two things aren't in sync, you're not going to be able to control the way that people feel when they're inside your environment. I'm a music strategist. I consult for music for environments. When I DJed 20 years ago, my job was to keep people on the dance floor. And then when I was asked to DJ in a retail store, I thought it would be a bit of fun, providing some background ambience. And then I noticed something really interesting happening. I was having a direct effect on the energy level and the relationship between the customer and the staff. And those two things are really going to set the tone for what you expect the rest of that retail experience to be. For example, when you go into a Saint Laurent store, music perfectly matches the character of the brand.
Eddie Slimane is the quintessential creative director. Whether he's shooting his own advertising, collaborating with Daft Punk on special music for his shows, he is involved in every aspect of the brand. The design elements that you see at the show often find their way into the store, adding to this feeling of gravitas and power that the Saint Laurent brand has.
La température 1, 2, 3, ouh là là 1, 2, 3, les chaussures et moi 1, 2, 3, ouh là là 1, 2, 3, les chaussures et moi.
One of the things that's been really prevalent over the last few years has been the emergence of the story around the brand. It used to be that as a designer you really just focused on designing clothes, but that's not enough anymore. There's much, much more than just what you're wearing. From the concept of the clothing all the way through the communication, which is the runway show or the print material, through to the retail experience. You can try to experience the brand online, but you need to interact, and nothing really matches that incredible experience when you go into a luxury store environment. You really get to experience the presence of the brand. I think somebody like Alexander Wang really embodies the best of what we try to teach at Parsons. Alex understands both brilliant design in his clothing, but also the communication through the runway show and social media, and crucially, he understands the retail environment.
When Alexander Wang started at the House of Balenciaga, he was thrown a very unique challenge. Because the previous store had been destroyed by Hurricane Sandy, Alexander Wang was tasked with designing a new store concept and doing the first collection at the same time.
An important impression when leaving the Balenciaga store and the experience that we want to convey when a customer either comes in for the first time or they're a repeating customer is that Balenciaga has such a rich heritage, and it's very important to respect that but also give a new experience as well. When I was first researching a lot of the material in the beginning, one of the biggest things that stood out to me was the sense of intimacy that Cristobal had with his clientele, and the way that the women would come in and sit there all day and watch the fashion show and do the fittings. And there's that sense of comfort in what you're buying, and we want our customers to feel very catered to and serviced in the most elevated way. The store is a very vast space. As you work your way into the store, the stone goes into carpet, the ceilings get a little bit lower, there's more mirrors, etc. So it does become more intimate as you venture deeper into the store. A good friend of mine, Ryan Corbin, collaborated with me on the design of the store. There was a comfort level and a fluidity to our collaboration. We really started from scratch in learning about the brand and the heritage together, and we were really interested and inspired by museum spaces, particularly more for the light and the minimal lines and the way that you kind of have to discover certain areas. We knew we wanted something quite classic and permanent and some things that felt very iconic. And of course, marble was the overlying theme there. Also playing with a lot of more innovative materials and things that would maybe throw off the language a bit. And we worked a lot with cracked resin and chipped limestone and chrome and suede and things to warm it up. So it was this constant back and forth balance of finding the right ingredients to put together the new identity. With the collection, it's more of a seasonal idea with the set, and sometimes, there are elements that really do transcend, such as the tile floor, which is something that was a very bold part of Balenciaga's identity. We started thinking about how to take that idea and translate it into the flooring and the set of the show, and then with the Spring/Summer 15 collection, it was a big overlying theme as we started working with the set of the show, as well as with the motifs of the embroideries and the seams and the structures and the silhouettes. It just kind of started taking over the Spring/Summer 15 collection, but I think it worked out very nicely.
Seeing a runway show is only part of experiencing a designer collection.
I think the retail environment is essential to tell the story of what the show's about, and the show gives you that emotion which you then feel when you walk into the store.
For me, it's really key that people come in and they enjoy the experience.
If you want to truly immerse yourself in a designer's vision, you have to walk into the boutique.